Alright, finally you've made it to part 3 of the Google spreadsheet assignment. We're going to start off reading this here. According to the M&M website, each package of milk chocolate M&Ms should contain 24% blue, 14% brown, 16% green, 20% orange, 13% red, and 14% yellow M&Ms. So what we're going to be doing in this part of the assignment is we're going to be comparing our two pie charts, which is our individual data and our class pie chart, with the information that is on the website and kind of drawing some conclusions about whether or not we think that M&M does purposely bag their M&Ms in this manner, or if we think it's just random based on our findings of the activity we did. So in order to compare our findings, what we're going to do is we are going to start off by inserting a table below this sentence which contains all the data. Your table should be a 4x7. So that means 4 columns and 7 rows. So go ahead and place your cursor in there, hit enter a couple times. You're going to go up to insert, down to table, and then you're going to make yourself a table that has 4 columns and 7 rows. I'm going to go ahead and insert that there. In this first column here, you're actually going to leave this first cell of your table blank. Start in the second one and go ahead and start listing out each of the colors of the M&Ms. Okay, once you have listed out the colors of the M&Ms, you're going to go up here to the top, and in this first column, let's write individual. The second column, let's write class for your class data, and then in the last column, go ahead and write website. Alright, now we're going to fill in our numbers for each one of these columns. So if I go to my spreadsheet and I go to the individual tab, I'm going to start entering in my totals here. Okay, so for my reds, I have 18.2%, and for my oranges, I have 24.2. So I'm going to go back here. Red 18.2, orange 24.2. Okay, the one thing I did want to point out on your spreadsheet, if you have a piece of your pie that is too small to have the percentage written in it, notice that when you hover over the piece, your percentage does appear. Alright, so I went ahead and filled out my totals for my individual data. Now I'm just going to do the same exact thing for my class data. So I'm going to make sure I go over to the class pie chart. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to fill out these totals in my class column. So you can go ahead and pause the video now and do that. Okay, and the last thing you're going to do in your table here is you're going to fill out the totals that the website claims are in each bag. So that information is up top here. So you can see blue should be 24%, brown 14%. I'm going to go ahead and fill these out. You can go ahead and pause and fill your table out. Okay, once you fill out your table, now you're ready to go down and begin answering these questions. So question number 1 says, does the small sample, which is your individual data, represent the large sample, which is the class data? And then you're going to answer why or why not. If you could do me a favor when you answer your questions and change the color of your response, that just kind of helps me see where your response begins and ends. Alright, so basically we're going to look at these two columns here, your individual data and your class data, and you're going to look at the percentages and are they anywhere near each other. I would say if they're within 5 to 6 points, I would say yeah, the small sample would represent the large sample for that color. But if they're way off, like the blue, like my sample only had 6.1% blue, whereas the class sample had 19.1. Then you're going to say definitely for the blue, my individual sample did not represent the class's sample. So what I would say here, if I'm looking at my browns, I had more browns than the class had, but it's within 4 points, 4 percentage points. So I would say yes, for the most part, my individual data does represent the class data there. I would say it also does for the red, for the green, definitely not for the yellow, definitely not for the orange, and definitely not for the blue. Okay, so I went ahead and typed up my response. Yours should be somewhat similar to this. Mine says, my individual data does represent the class data for my brown, red, and green M&Ms because all of my percentages were within 5 percentage points of the class data. But for my yellow, orange, and blue M&Ms, my data does not represent the class's data because my percentage points are not even close to the class's percentages. And actually, there should be an apostrophe right there. Okay, so that's an example of a sample of what your response might look like. Let's take a look at question number 2. I'm going to go ahead and bounce that down to the next page. Question 2, again, it just restates the statistics that are on the M&M's website. And question 2 says, does your individual data support this? Why or why not? So you're going to look back up at your table, and you're going to be looking at this column, your individual data, and this column, the website data. So you're going to be doing the same exact thing. For your browns, or in my case for my browns, I had 18.2. The website said I should have had in my sample 14%. That's pretty close. Or close enough to say, yes, I think my individual does represent what the website say it should. Supports it. So you're going to do that again for each individual color. And you're going to type that up, and you're going to say, once again, why or why not. And then you're going to do it for the class data this time. That time you're going to look at this data versus what's on the website. You would think that the class data would be closest to the website data, but that's what you're going to find out when you're doing these comparisons. So once again, look at your individual colors, type up a brief summary on what your findings were. And then the very last question, question 4, says, what conclusion can you draw about how M&Ms are packaged? Basically, what you're going to say here is you're either going to say one of two things. You're either going to say, I think that M&Ms are packaged according to the percentages on their website, because if yours actually supports that, you'll say that. Or if too many of your colors were way off, you'll say, I don't think M&M packages their M&Ms according to the percentages on their websites because my percentages were nowhere near what they said those percentages were. So again, question 4, you're just drawing a conclusion about your findings. Alright, last, now it is time to finally submit this assignment after 3 long parts. There are 2 things that you need to submit here. That's why I've highlighted this and bolded it. You need to submit this document itself, and you also need to submit this document here. So hopefully by now you know how to do this. You're going to head to Edmodo, and you are going to find the Google Sheets assignment. You can either do filter post by assignment, or if it's on the wall, you can click it from here, or you can go up to your progress. Since mine's right here, I'm just going to go ahead and hit turn in. Go ahead and type up a little blurb about how you felt about the assignment if you want to. Now you're just going to attach 2 links here. Go ahead and hit the shared link button. You'll go back, or if you haven't already done so, you're going to copy the first link. So in this case, I'd go over to share. Don't forget to hit get shareable link. Then you'll hit copy link. And when you go to Edmodo, oops, wrong one, you're going to paste that there. Hit attach. It will title it for you, and then you'll hit attach again. So that's the first part of the assignment you need to turn in. You also need to turn in the actual spreadsheet. So same thing. Go to share, get shareable link, copy link, then you're going to go back to Edmodo, and you're just going to paste. You're going to hit that link option again. You're going to paste that link there, hit attach, and slowly, there we go, and attach again. So you should see both of your assignments attached here. Once you've typed in whatever comments you want to say, you'll go ahead and hit turn in, and you will be done. Good job.